Welcome to the Flight Club Podcast, a woman's guide to leaning out. We give you a behind-the-scenes look at business launch and growth through the stories of successful female entrepreneurs. Here's your host, Felina Hansen, founder and CEO of Hera Hub.
Hello and welcome. I am really looking forward to my conversation today with Heather Locke. She began her career as a web developer and quickly moved into a role of managing a team of programmers, designers, animators, and digital video producers. And she worked with a wide variety of multimedia interactive corporate applications, including e-learning, marketing, and communications. She was definitely ahead of her time. From there, she worked as a project manager for Fortune 1000 companies, including Subway, Disney, HBO, and Target. And her experience has now led her to launch her own business called Hammersmith Support, which is a full-service web development company focused on helping clients of all sizes move through every phase of the process. So site building, hosting, and of course, maintenance as well. Welcome to the show today, Heather.
Thank you for having me, Felina. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to share your story. And I'm excited to dive into the world of web development because so much has changed and things continue to change. It's such, I'm sure for you, an exciting field to be in. But for some of us entrepreneurs, how do I want to say it? Because it's changing so fast. I tell you, we just redid our website a couple years ago, and now the conversation is, okay, we gotta do it again. We gotta start over. I'm like, what? So anyhow, we'll get to that. Before we go there, take us back and tell us more about you and take us along your career path.
So I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I graduated from the University of Tennessee. And when I was in school, I was accepted to their College Scholars Program, which is a program where it lets you design your own major. And my major was interactive media. And that was a great launch pad for me because I got a lot of internships that were really giving me some great experience. I worked for a video game developer, and I was able to also intern at a company that was doing 360-degree images, like virtual reality images. And so I was able to get some good experience through college. And then when I graduated, I always had a desire to move west, and I found a job with a small company in Phoenix, and I went to work there. That was also a great experience because the owners were very entrepreneurial, and it was changing a lot. We did a lot of e-learning and marketing applications. We worked with a variety of clients from startups to big brands. And so I really got to experience the digital world in a lot of different ways for a lot of different price points.
You were really ahead of your time, Heather, because this is when all this digital, the world of digital was really, really starting to come out, right?
Yes, I think when, it was really just on the forefront of the internet. I can remember almost every browser release that came out and being so excited about the new features and, when mobile and like media queries where you started to be able to do responsive, it was really exciting. So that definitely, I've seen it evolve, and it's all been for the positive.
Yeah, I know one of my first jobs out of school, I was doing some marketing for a high-tech recruiting firm, and I was the one that was, in charge of learning some basic HTML and, making website updates. And just looking back on that time, like it just seemed so, it seems so remedial, like the way you would develop websites, right?
Truly, it has definitely changed.
Yeah. And
as you said, I expect that's not going to slow down. I
true.
expect that we're going to continue to have, see it evolve and hopefully get easier and for more people to do more things with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you moved out west, you landed in Phoenix. Is that right?
I did.
Okay. And you're still in Phoenix, so you must you must like it. So you worked for a company there in Phoenix. You were director of web development, and you were there a long time. You were there 12 years.
Yes, that was the job I just described. And then from there, I went to an agency where we did interactive promotions. And that was amazing. I was an interactive project manager there and managed projects for HBO and Disney and Pepsi and Target. It was a stressful job, but it was, I really learned a lot, really pushed my skills in a lot of ways working there.
That's great. And when did you start your, as they call it now, Heather, your side hustle?
Well, I started it long before it was my full-time job. I probably started in 2005 or 6. I was always doing projects on the side, working on my web development skills. So I kind of always kept that going. And when I worked at the agency, I had just had my daughter, and I was just finding that work-life balance to be very difficult. And one day I just remember driving there thinking, why am I doing this? I can make money on my own and, have an easier life in a lot of ways, in some ways harder. Mm-hmm. So I made a goal for myself to save up so much money in my bank account. And once I had that, I was going to, quit my job. And that's kind of how I did. And I was fortunate I had a husband that had health care and was able to, provide that stability. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting, Heather, because I would say at least half of my conversations, sharing stories of female entrepreneurs, that exact same narrative. It's, I had my first child or I had my second child, and I just realized I didn't want to go back to working for somebody else. It definitely is, an important point in our lives where we look at, what's important and, how we want to spend our time. And as you said, being an entrepreneur, sometimes it is, and many times it is harder than working for somebody else, but having control, so to speak, of your own schedule and decisions, I'm sure was important to you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Still is.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. Yeah. So when did you then take that full-time step? Around what year was that?
2011.
Okay. So you went out on your own, 2011, full force. Was there any looking back once you went full-time?
No, I was I'm not meaning I didn't look back and that it wasn't hard. It was definitely hard. There were definitely ups and downs, but I was very happy to be on the path.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So I want to get into more about your business here. Talk broadly about the work you're doing, and with that, maybe bring an example of a recent project that you've worked on that you've enjoyed.
Sure. So I've focused my company around WordPress development. So we are a full service WordPress development agency. So we do design, development, we do hosting, and we do maintenance. So the ongoing kind of maintenance and support for our clients. We work with all sizes of clients, from solopreneur to large companies. We make code plugins that are for specific use for a client. We make custom themes so that it can really be connected to their brand and look like, we can make use of their brand. We're not stuffing them into a template. Everything we do is custom. Mm-hmm. And then on the maintenance side, we, just work with them to take care of it and support them as a client and support their site every month. So things like running security updates and plugin updates, submitting their site to Google Search Console, making sure there's no problems with the SEO, checking the analytics, checking their form submissions. You don't know how many times I've gotten a client that no one was receiving the form submissions. So every month for our maintenance clients, we submit their forms and we make sure they respond that they received it, so we know that they're not losing any leads. And that's a big component. far as recent projects, this year I had the opportunity to work with a international airline and develop a website that promotes their vacation packages. So I worked with my client was a technology company that provides the pricing for the hotel and air. And we were able to make a custom WordPress site that allows people to book those packages directly from the website. And it's great for the airline's marketing team because they can easily create landing pages and feature specials, and it's very user friendly for them. And so that project was a big part of my year in 2019, and I've been super proud of that one.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to dive into this world of WordPress. And, there's WordPress is still very much, I don't know if the word de facto is the right word, but, it is for many companies, large and small, the platform that they use to do their web development. I wanted to kind of get into, what obviously WordPress is such a flexible platform. You can build on it, develop on it. I mean, that's obviously part of the work that you're doing. How do you see that changing? What does the future look like? Is it going to be WordPress in 5 years? Is there going to be something else that's out there? What are your predictions?
Well, there is WordPress right now is about 30% of the internet. It's got a very strong hold. Therefore, I don't think it will go away in 5 years. Mm-hmm. I do think there will continue to be more competition. Like right now, we have Wix and we have Squarespace, mm-hmm. where people can log on and make their own site. But what makes WordPress unique from that is that when you use Wix, for example, you're basically licensing your site and paying them a monthly fee for it. Where with the WordPress, you can take your site and move it anywhere. You own it. You can control the base code of it. You can, edit the actual framework. It's an open source framework. You're not beholden to anyone. Mm-hmm. And that's why I really like it. And because it's open source, there's such a community that develops plugins for it and support for it and developers that support it. And so I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I do think it will continue to evolve. Just this past year, they added their Guttenberg plugin, and that was that made the editing more of in a block format, which really it's not quite, it's still in its infancy, that feature, but it has made it more of a visual experience for clients to edit.
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about because as I have to jump in and get in there and do some of the things on our website. So, yes, it definitely has evolved even since I've been using it. You said 30% of websites are WordPress websites. For some reason, that percentage seems low to me. I would have thought it was more for some reason.
Well, the last time I looked, it was around maybe 33%. That's taking into account all the Amazons and larger companies that aren't, that have custom developed sites. And then also just so there's still a fair number of sites that are just straight HTML.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. I don't know why I thought the whole world was using WordPress now. It's the world I live in. So, but yeah, I do see a lot of these other platforms coming out, and especially for, real, solopreneurs, small businesses, folks getting started, sometimes just getting something up on Squarespace or Wix is, the first step of the process. Or you see a lot of these hosting companies like GoDaddy offering web, platform services, so to speak, but they have, of course, significant limitations. I want to get into this part of your business as far as maintenance goes, because I see this as a huge mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make. They spend some money building their WordPress site and they're super excited and everything looks great. And then they don't invest in the maintenance, and then suddenly their site's offline. It's been taken down by malware. I know we've had issues with that with our website. So talk about, some of the things that you talked about, form maintenance and things of that nature, but maybe even give us a horror story if you want of, of someone not maintaining their site.
Well, a horror story would definitely be you get hacked and you see things on your site you don't want to see. And unfortunately, it does happen. Maintenance is very important. When I talk to clients, the analogy I use, you would never buy a new car and not change the oil. And it is definitely that, because if you don't change the oil, the car won't run well. It will eventually just break down. And it's the same with a website. There are constantly updates, and the updates are because technology evolves. And so a lot of the updates are security patches. So just by doing the update, you're helping to keep your site more secure. So that's very important, to update the framework and the plugins, so they always you have the most recent versions. And when we do this for our clients, we have live staging backups. So some updates we can do on the live site, and we feel confident in that. But larger updates, if we're updating to the new version of WordPress, we do it on the staging site first, make sure there are no issues, and then we run that same update on the live site. So we really take a lot of precautions along the way.
Yeah, that I can see where that's important. And give us just a sense of kind of the range that somebody would be, looking to spend. Obviously, it depends on the complexity of their site, but for ongoing maintenance of their WordPress website.
So our basic package for WordPress maintenance is $295 a month. And that includes all of the content, all the security and plugin updates. We have a list of about 20 checks we do on the site each month. It also comes with your monthly analytics report and submission to Google Search Console. But what kind of sets us apart is it also includes 2 hours each month for any content update. So clients might send us an email that say, we need you to remove this person from our About page, or add this person, or can you add a landing page? And all that's included. So our goal is to kind of become an extension of their office, of their team, and they can always reach out to Hammersmith support to update something that needs to be, and we turn it around as fast as we can.
Awesome. Yes. So important. Again, I've learned the hard way. So what are some of the things that you're looking forward to, Heather, whether it's for your business or even just more broadly, in this world of technology that you're working in?
Well, I'm looking forward to evolving my business. This year I have had a lot of growth, and I'm trying to kind of visualize the next step. And some of the things I want to do is create a client portal on my website where clients can log in and see, how much time they've used out of their maintenance package. So that's on my horizon in the next year. I'm hoping to bring more women into my company. I'm woman-owned. I have 2 women employees, and I want to continue that because I think girls in tech is very important. Also, a big part of my mission is to give back. We have one pro bono client right now, but I'm really hoping in the next year I'm at a point where I can add a second, and then hopefully a third. And I kind of want that to always be part of my growth strategy. After we get so many clients, we add a nonprofit. So those are the things on my that I'm looking forward to in the future.
Fantastic. And if our listeners want to get in touch with you, learn more, Heather, what's the best way for them to do that?
The best way is on my website at hammersmithsupport.com. There is a button where you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Heather.
Thank you so much for having me, Selena.
Thank you for joining this week's episode of Flight Club, sponsored by Hera Hub. We look forward to sharing more success stories with you soon.